Hey y'all, it's the Jed. It is another gorgeous Saturday morning in Southern California. It's got to be close to 80 degrees already, and it's only about 10 o'clock. I'm somewhere new today. Look where I am. That is Laidlaw's Harley Davidson. What am I doing here, you may be asking? Well, let me tell you. I'm here because my Road Glide ST is getting its 1,000-mile service. But the Jed, that's not a Road Glide ST. No, it's not. It's a Street Glide Special. It's a 2023, and I'm going to demo that. And you're never going to believe who is going to take me out to demo this bike. Yeah, it's that guy, Matt Laidlaw. And I've lost my audio from the demo ride. So I'm going to shrink this video into the corner of the screen because when we got back to the dealership, I had a chance to sit down with Matt and talk to him about road glides versus street glides and STs versus S's. It was interesting stuff, and I think you're going to enjoy hearing what Matt had to say. Here we go. So, y'all, you don't know how excited I am to be sitting down with the guy across the table from me and how appreciative I am of him. I'm going to flip the camera around to him. That's them calling on my bike, I think. I'm going to flip the camera around so you don't have to see my ugly face anymore. There is Mr. Matt Laidlaw, who is, in a real sense, Harley Davidson royalty around here. I've got two observations. I've been sitting in the showroom waiting on service on my bike, and I've been watching Matt walk around this showroom, basically catering to everybody who comes in. Everybody wants to shake his hand. Everybody wants to take a picture of him, and so I really appreciate him making time to sit down with me. The second observation is it's really dangerous to sit in a Harley Davidson showroom for a couple of hours waiting on your bike because, in particular, Laidlaw's is full of gorgeous brand new motorcycles, and you're watching people come in buying them. And
we do that on purpose, by the way.
Yeah, I imagine that could be a dangerous thing. So, Matt, thanks very much. Not just for sitting down with me, but for taking me out on a test ride.
My pleasure, man. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. It's great to meet you. I want to talk to you because you were kind enough to put me on a brand new Street Glide Special. I don't even know what those colors are called, by the way.
It's the bright billiard blue and billiard gray.
What a gorgeous bike.
Yeah, it's a cool two-tone.
I have to admit, I was shocked riding that. I have not been on a Street Glide version of the FL, if that's even the right letters anymore.
Yeah, FLHXS.
Yeah, yeah. So I bought my Road Glide just a couple months ago, and really never even considered a Street Glide because so many people are out there saying, "Oh, the Road Glide is so much more roomy and it handles so much better and it cuts the wind so much better." And then I got on the Street Glide, and I could not believe actually how different it felt, but how good it really felt. And I wanted to ask you about, because here you are, super tall guy. I don't even know how tall you are.
6'6".
6'6". You ride a Street Glide.
Yep.
And yet everybody says, "Oh, the Road Glide is so much roomier." Tell everybody. I mean, what do you think?
So the problem is so many people in the Harley Davidson world, like Harley riders, they hang on to stuff that was true 20, 30, 40 years ago, and they never let go of it. So the Road Glide pre-2015, when they changed the fairing, they redesigned the brand new fairing that we see now in 2015. Prior to that, it did stretch you out a little bit more. Like it required a little bit more of a reach to get the bars and everything. In 2015, though, they brought the bars back 2.5 inches, which is a lot. And so the whole theory of, okay, the Road Glide is a tall man's bike is irrelevant now. It's not true anymore. They both fit. I usually tell people, if you're about 5'11", 6 foot, like you are the perfect height that these bikes are designed for, the touring bikes, that is. But really, at the end of the day, too, a lot of people want to talk to you about, okay, the Road Glide handles better. It's a better open road highway bike because the fairing and the steering is isolated from the winds. And I've said this a million times in my videos, there is very little truth to that. I've ridden both of these bikes in every imaginable situation. And they're both on the same frame. They both have the same front ends in terms of like the forks, 49 millimeter front fork, and they both have the same steering head bearing. Really what it comes down to is the look, and the Road Glide has a little bit more storage. The Road Glide has dual headlights. There's a lot of little things that separate the two bikes.
So I want to ask you specifically about a couple of differences I did notice that I was surprised at. One was S versus ST, because I'm on an ST. My bike's an ST. This was an S. To me, I did feel like it was missing a little bit of the torque, but I felt like it was a much smoother delivery of power, and I'm guessing that's because of the cam more than the displacement difference.
Yeah.
True?
Yeah, there's some truth to that. I think what you may be interpreting as smoothness is the cam profile on the 107 and 114 motors is a little bit better low end. So right off a stop sign for about 1.5 seconds, you have a little bit more power, because the 117 cam, it favors the top end a little bit more. And so most people will never notice it because the 117 cam still does good in the low end. Yeah. But it does favor that top end power a little bit more. So that's interesting to hear. To me, it feels like the ST is a little snappy, and this sounds like the opposite of what you're saying, really. But to me, it's a little snappy low, whereas the S, I don't know, it just felt like a more, maybe it's a more linear curve. I don't know how to describe it, but it's interesting to hear. The second thing I was going to say is, clearly you feel that it sits a little lower than the ST does, right? Because the ST has, I think, an inch more in the back, and yet it actually felt like those shocks were a little more forgiving than on my ST, which also I can't believe is true, because as far as I know, it's the same shock, just an inch more in the spring. I think if you rode them back to back on the exact same terrain,
it feel more similar.
It's gonna feel a little bit better on your ST with that inch of travel.
I'm not saying the ST feels bad, by the way. But it did. I was surprised, because I was expecting it to feel actually a little more bumpy with just less travel, but I didn't feel that at all.
Yeah, I mean, the roads we went on were pretty decent roads, and so we didn't have a whole lot of bumps. And it's different too when you're out on the freeway. When you're out on the freeway hitting a bump on these freeways out here at 70 miles an hour, you're gonna feel it a lot more.
Particularly after all the rain we've had, by the way. The roads just took a beating.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have the stock seat on your ST?
I don't. I have a Saddleman, the San Diego Customs version of the Saddleman.
Okay, that helps a lot, because the stock seat on the STs is actually pretty rough.
Oh, I was shocked.
Anything you gain comfort-wise in the suspension, you lose in the seat.
Yeah, definitely.
So
definitely. I'm going to ask you one more. If you had a brand new ST, and you lived in California and you wanted to keep it legal, is there anything performance-wise you would do to it? I haven't really been able to find much information on what that torque cam really is that's in it, but I'm just curious if you have quick thoughts on that.
When you say the torque cam that's in it,
well, people say, and maybe you can correct this. People have said to me, the Lowrider ST and the Road Glide and Street Glide STs have a quote-unquote torque cam from the factory, different from, say, the cam in the 117 that's in a Breakout. Is there truth to that?
No, there's no truth to that.
Same cam.
Yeah, so the cam in the Lowrider ST and the Breakout, it's the same cam.
Okay. I'm
about 99% sure. So, there's no, from the factory, it's not called a torque cam. Okay. It's just the 117 cam that is a little bit different than like the 114 cam, for example, just because it's tuned. The tuning and the cam are different to enhance and be more in line with what that 117 can put out.
Gotcha.
But no, the torque cam is a Screaming Eagle cam that is only offered out of the parts and accessory catalog, as is the power cam, which is a high-end horsepower cam.
Gotcha.
But to answer your question, to be legal, California legal, what would I do to the bike? I really like S&S's 2-in-1. I think it's called the Sidewinder pipe.
Okay.
I would probably throw one of those on, or I would just throw a set of mufflers on the bike, depending on what I was doing. But and the other thing is, I like Screaming Eagle stuff, but the problem is right now Screaming Eagle they don't have any carb approved stuff for the 23 model year
really?
bikes.
Okay.
So I might just wait until Harley Davidson comes out their Screaming Eagle tuner and then do like a cam in it, like the torque cam in it.
Right.
But if I were just buying one right now today, I'd either put that S&S pipe on there or just a set of mufflers.
And if you put that S&S pipe on a 2-in-1, do you just leave the stock tune until?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you change the tune, that would require you to use an aftermarket tuner, which now you're potentially going to have warranty implications.
Right.
So that's not to say it would automatically avoid your warranty, like the internet wants to tell you. But if you did have a powertrain issue, they go in there, it's a non-Harley Davidson tuner, and they find it to be the reason or the catalyst behind the failure, then they could decline your warranty. So there is a risk there with an aftermarket tuner. So if it were me personally, I wouldn't even tune it. I'd throw the pipe on there. We've had experience with the S&S pipes that they run good with the stock tune, and I'd probably just go that route.
Good to know. Matt, I'm going to give you your day back because I know you're busy. But
All right, man.
Thank you so much for making time for me. And for y'all watching, I would just say if you're in the Southern California area and you want to visit a Harley Davidson dealer you can trust, a dealer with a great selection of bikes and a great service department, come by Laidlaw's.
Thank you. Appreciate it.